All right, welcome. Today, we're going to crack the code on one of the world's toughest exams, the UPSC Civil Services exam. This isn't just about what to study, it's about how you build a winning strategy right from day one. Just think about that for a second. A marathon with a million runners. That's kind of what the UPSC feels like, right? It's this massive test of knowledge, sure, but also endurance and pure strategy. And like any marathon, you don't win by just showing up. You absolutely need a plan. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with a core philosophy, then we'll map out the exam structure. After that, we'll assemble the right resources, master the art of practice, and finally, we'll get into the champion's mindset. Let's dive in. Okay, first things first. We have to get our heads in the right space. The UPSC journey is a long haul. It's not a college exam you can cram for. It rewards discipline and that daily grind way more than those short, intense bursts of studying. This right here, this is the single most important idea you need to burn into your brain. If you sprint, you're going to burn out, plain and simple. A marathon, well, that requires a steady pace, mental toughness, and just showing up day in and day out. So before you start running, you got to know the course, right? Your first real strategic move is to understand every little detail of the exam. This isn't optional, it's absolutely non-negotiable. The whole exam is basically a three-stage filter. First up, you have the prelims. That's the multiple choice test designed to screen a huge number of people. If you clear that, you're on to the mains, which is a deep dive descriptive writing test. And finally, the interview, which is all about assessing your personality and whether you're a good fit for the civil services. Now let's zoom in on the prelims because there's a huge strategic insight here. You've got two papers. Think of the General Studies, or GS, paper as the actual race. Your score here is what matters. The second paper, CSAT, is more like a hurdle. You just need to clear it with a minimum score. So what's the big takeaway? You pour your energy into crushing that GS paper, while making sure you can comfortably hop over the CSAT bar. And this is your map, your compass, your North Star. The official syllabus is the single most important document you will have. I'm serious. Print it out, stick it on your wall, live and breathe it. Use it to break down these giant subjects like history or polity into small, bite-sized pieces. It tells you exactly what's on the test. Okay, so we've mapped out the terrain. Now it's time to gather your tools. This is all about picking the right resources for this year-long campaign you're about to embark on. The foundation is everything. You've got to start with the basics, and that means the NCERT school textbooks from class 6 all the way to 12. They just make things so clear. Once you nail those, then you move on to the standard reference books. And, critically, read a good newspaper every single day. Make your own short, punchy notes. Maybe use diagrams or mind maps to help you remember things visually. Look, a whole year of prep can feel chaotic if you don't structure it. So here's a simple roadmap. The first 3 months, that's all about building your foundation. NCRTs, getting into the habit of current affairs. Months 4 to 6, you go deeper with standard books and start practicing. The next 3 months are for locking it all in with revision and test series. And that final stretch, it's all about intense mock tests and just hammering home what you know. All right, let's shift gears. Knowing the material is one thing, but performing under pressure, that's a whole other beast. This part is all about how you practice, analyze, and improve. This is where you really gain that edge over the competition. Your practice needs to be targeted. For prelims, it's about speed and pattern recognition, so you solve hundreds, even thousands of multiple-choice questions from past years. For mains, it's about clear, structured writing within a word limit. That means daily answer writing. But here's the crucial step for both: feedback. You have to get your work checked so you know where you're going wrong. It's a fair question, right? You're studying for hours, you're writing answers, but how can you be sure you're actually getting better and not just spinning your wheels? The answer is data. Mock tests are not just for practice, they're diagnostic tools. After every single test, you need to do an autopsy on your performance. Figure out why you got something wrong. Was it a knowledge gap? Did you misread the question? Or was it just a silly mistake under pressure? That kind of analysis is what leads to real improvement. Here's a pro tip that really separates the good answers from the great ones. Don't study subjects in silos. You have to integrate them. So when you're talking about polity, connect it to a recent Supreme Court judgment. When you're discussing the economy, link it to a new government scheme. This creates these dynamic, multi-dimensional answers that examiners absolutely love. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it might be the most important one. You can have all the knowledge and the best strategy, but at the end of the day, it's your mindset, your habits, and your attitude that will carry you across that finish line. Let this be your mantra. 6 focused hours every single day is so much better than a panicked 15-hour session once a week. It's those small, daily efforts that build unstoppable momentum. Consistency beats intensity, every time. And here's your second mantra. Make answer writing your secret weapon. Especially for the mains, it's not just about what you know. It's about how clearly and effectively you can communicate it under extreme pressure. This should be your most important daily habit. No excuses. So what do these winning habits look like? Well, for starters, make a realistic daily timetable, one you can actually stick to. Try using techniques like the Pomodoro, 25 minutes of focused work, 5-minute break, to stay sharp. Make it a goal to revise every subject at least twice. And above all, protect your mental health. This journey is tough, and your resilience is key. So there you have it. We've laid out the strategy, the tools, and the mindset. The path from aspirant to officer is a marathon, and it's defined by discipline, smart work, and an unbreakable spirit. The roadmap is clear. The only question left is, are you ready to take that first step?